Hi, it's David here with Futures Trading. Before I get started, I want to ask you to do something just really quickly. I want you to look right here. And what do you think will happen? If you were to take an entry right now, I suspect that you'll want to get out here, or maybe even up here where this line is at, maybe. Okay. But you want to get out somewhere here. I'm pretty certain, especially if you're a scalper, you'll want to get out somewhere right about here. Now, if you wanted to go short, I'm certain you'll probably be someone that will wait until this high is broken. Then you want to go short and what probably target back down here. All right. Or maybe to this blue line or even to the red line if you're experienced, you'll want to go back down after it breaks the high. I'm certain of. Or you may be someone that'll just sell this high and you'll be aiming back downward. Now I want you to just kind of keep that in mind because that's going to have everything to do with what I'm gonna talk to you about. That when you have the idea, the thought to do something, the outcome is present with you and you can see it. All right, now let's see if it's true. We're going to see if it's true. Now I'm going to kind of cover all of that up because I don't want you to know what's happening. And we're going to come back and take a look. Want to welcome my newest subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me and well, joining us. Thank you so much for coming over to Futures Trading. We are glad to have you. Absolutely glad. We had 133 the last video that I shot here, and you're here by fate because we're not buying any subscribers, followers, comments, likes, none of the sort. So there's no deceptive behavior here to get you here. We don't want to incentivize you to become traders because you can lose all of your money, and I don't want that for you. Now, what I don't want for you either is to waste your time. So let's get into some of this information right now. So if you don't mind, show the level of etiquette, be a professional because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for professionals here, not about money, but having a polite behavior to show politeness towards people in their profession. And so we're all traders here. So no one's better than anyone else. And so if you make $10 or $100,000 a day, we wouldn't care. We just want to make sure that you're a professional, that you don't mind showing politeness because someone cared to get you here. Someone hit the like button. So if you don't mind, align yourself with the agenda, hit the like button and care about somebody else because there's people that need help. All right. So just want to say that. And again, I want to go here too. I want to thank Jane. Thank you so much for being supportive here. I know you came on board and there's absolutely no way I believe you could have watched all these videos that you like. But thank you so much for hitting the like button. As many times as you did, you caused a major surge in the likes, and I just want to stop and definitely acknowledge you for doing that. Cycling Game, William Dungan, thank you so much. And there's so many more of you that have, of course, liked the material along the way. I just wanted to make sure I outlined that Jane, she actually, like, I'm sure, I'm pretty certain. And if you did watch all of these videos, it's pretty amazing. But thank you so much for liking the material again, supporting. I am unable to follow people here. So do forgive me, people, if I'm not following you back. It's not my intent to do so. I've made them aware of the situation. They refused to rectify it. Done that at least 3 months ago, and several times made them aware of it, and they just won't fix the issue. Now, let's get into it. The fluid intelligence, really important stuff. All right, really important stuff. Something that you may consciously not even paying in mind to. Really important stuff. I read the dictionary. I like the encyclopedia. I also play speed chess, 1 minute games. All right. I like 60-second games and I play speed chess all the time. So I'm always into something that just, again, just hone that mind, just really like to feed my mental capacity all the time, much as I can. So don't want to give you dense information. I'm trying to simplify everything that I know about charts in a way that you can completely understand it at first glance. That's really important. Fluid intelligence is the ability to solve novel reasoning problems and is correlated with a number of important skills such as comprehension, problem solving, and learning. Really important stuff. Now let's ask Google about it. The ability to think abstractly, reason quickly, and problem solve independent of any previous acquired knowledge. All right. So I want you to keep your mind kind of aware of this word, fluid intelligence. And I'll bring it, of course, full circle for you in just a second. Now, you wanted to go long, and probably aimed again right about here, maybe up here, okay? And then, of course, those of you that was waiting for that break, then wanted to short, you're having to chase it right now because it's leaving you. For the person that just wanted to go ahead and sell it and put your stop above here, congratulations, you are now winning. Now, how far do you want it to go? Now, remember, I told you you would have the end in mind because that's how the mind actually works. That's how it works. It and then I'll prove it to you. Here it is. Thought action, habit, character, destiny. So the place of no time, there's no time here. You put your thought in time, time produces you an outcome. An outcome you cannot control. We trust in its function. Now that's fluid intelligence. So, really simple stuff. A function of the mind. It's a function of the mind that you will have the outcome in mind when you have the thought. Really important. I'm going to make sure that I explain this to you where you can really understand it. So, you saw yourself being able to exit when you said, "Hey, I would take the trade right there and possibly go down here." You saw the end. You actually saw where you want the outcome, where you thought you would be with that trade, or possibly taking your entry from here and still knowing where you would like to get out at, and that would be somewhere below. And for the person that's going long, either right here, or maybe I suggested it to you and it made you think of the outcome. That's interesting too, right? But every time we pull up the chart, that's what's happening. We are thinking, and at the moment of thought, even though people get confused, at the moment of thought, they're trying to visualize, can they see the outcome as well? And that causes us to take action, all right? And then we repeat it, be defined by it, and then there's your outcome. Participation. Participation is the action, all right? So that same word, the action of taking part in something, all right? So the action of taking part in something. So participation is important, and we're going to talk more about that. Time is the continued sequence of existence and events that occur in irreversible succession from the past through the present and into the future. If you've been following me for any time now, we have been really drilling in on this, and I hope that you stick around because there's more to talk about. Now, time is a trend, okay? Time is a trend. Thought is a trend as well. And just as you saw your entry and saw your outcome, okay, just as you saw that, okay, you envisioned this. So you saw this when you saw this, okay? When you thought of this, this was there. I want to make sure that when you look at the chart, you see it as a whole. It's not fragmented. It's not, something that can't be obtained. You got to see it as a whole. And once you see it as a whole, I promise you, you'll do better. Now, the market. Now that's us. Okay, this is us and our process. Now, I have there may have been a thought collective thought effort to create the market. It may not just been one person, but it did come from some source, an origin. It came from a mind. It came from minds. Okay, collectively or just individually, the market was thought of, and so now it has morphed into something so much greater than just the mind alone. Because remember, fluid intelligence kind of deals with adaptation, where it's adjusting, all right, in some regard. But the market isn't quite that way. It's a little bit more sophisticated, if you will, than that. All right. So now what happens is you got the participants. All right. Now we participate, but we're not the participants. They create the outcome. All right. And have designed the function. All right. So they design the functions, i.e., numbers and percentages. And the market is a fluid event. It's fluidity in its function. All right. So it's fluid, just like fluid intelligence is fluid. That's why you got algorithms and all of that that's adaptive and predatory and all of that other stuff, matching algorithms and all of that. It's fluid. All right. Now I want you to understand something. This is the most important part. Don't worry so much about this over here. Just worry about this. This right here. Just keep your mind on this. The participants, the market, the participants, they get involved with the outcome and have created the design of how it functions to ensure that the outcome will happen. You can wake up, have a thought, okay, because I asked you, hey, where do you think this market will go? Even have the end in mind, but you can't control it. You can't ensure that its function gets you directly to that outcome. You can't do absolutely nothing about it. You can't do nothing about it. And so it's really important, no matter, even though we possess fluid intelligence, even though we possess the same kind of thing that this does, that the market does, it's fluidity, is a function of it, even though we have that same ability to do so, we can't control the outcome of that position that we took. The only thing that you can do is interact with it based on its own model. So what it's doing, you can only interact with it based on its model. Now, keep in mind, now this is the really important part. Procedural knowledge. And this is something I've been pushing at you guys since I started the channel back in, I believe it was May. Procedural knowledge. The most important part of procedural knowledge is the word procedural. Really important word here, all right? Relating to an established or an official way of doing something. Now, when you take apart the word destiny, okay, because remember, that's a part of the function of us, the events that will necessarily happen to a particular person or thing in the future. Now, remember, I told you you're here by fate. Necessarily, the necessity for it to happen is inevitability. That's what this word deals with. Inevitability. There's nothing that you can do about it. All right. Remember, I told you you can't control the outcome. All right. Really important stuff. So that official way deals with necessity. It's destined. Okay. There's an official way for something to be done. And I want to make you somewhat aware of what I've come to notice about the market. And it's right there. It's not me. It's just I've come to notice it. Notice I said that word. I come to notice it. It's happening without me. It's not what I think about it. It's just what's happening. It's not terminology, that I'm trying to come up with. And that's why I'm pointing to you definitions so you can take the time and go learn this information on your own. You can go pull out a dictionary and you can learn the meaning of these words and just trace its steps. And of course, like I said, you can identify with it yourself because it's exactly how you are. And so the market itself is not operating beyond the scope of human function because human beings created it. And so I want to make you aware of when you interact with the market, you're interacting with somebody's idea, somebody's goal, somebody's wanting to create an outcome for themselves that's ensured to happen. That's what's amazing about it. And that's why I say it morphed into something else because they had an idea. They're creating the idea along the way, the opportunities. They're creating the opportunities for them to involve themselves, the price levels that they want to be on, the price levels that they want to get out on. And then, of course, they're ensuring the delivery of that information. Because that's all, this is information. That's all it is. And we do a little bit of that, but at the same time, there's variables that's beyond our control, definitely when dealing with other people. We can't ensure to the exact measure that we will get exactly what we want. And so then we have to rely on this thing here called trust. All right. So now could it be that both parties is right? Could we end up here or here? And just maybe you took in a little bit more heat, maybe. Now, there's a lot of popular terms online, and again, I have no qualms with this information. Again, however someone interprets the chart, totally up to them. Totally up to them how they interpret the chart. But here's what I propose. You're not going to change somebody's mind when they have the goal or the outcome in mind. You're not going to change it. Terminology won't do it. Various interpretations of it won't do it. What and here's the interesting thing. They can provide you an indicator list that's full of information, other information to somewhat encourage you to think that you're going to solve what it is that you may be dealing with, which may be, a variety of issues. You may have confidence issues. There may be an indicator here that may make you think that you're confident enough to pull the trigger and get it to work. There may be an indicator in here that may solve your trade management problems because that's what they're hoping. I'm pretty certain of this. That's what they're hoping to accomplish by providing you information, more indicators. Is to get you to believe in something that would help you with what it is that they have already created and have ensured that will happen regardless of what selection of indicators you decide to choose. And so I just come to notice, and this is all it is. And I just call it what I'm seeing, no touch, no close. That's all I call it. All right. It's not me, manipulating the machines and all. I'm not doing none of that. I ain't naming candles but after myself. I'm not doing any of that stuff. That's not really what's happening. All right. So if you can recall any of this information, the popular terms that's online, if you can adapt all of these requirements, all of these different things that need to happen or is on the chart, if you can recall any of this information, and again, no bad light, just want to make sure that you understand what's happening here because I'm trying to simplify it for you. If you can recall all of the popular content or all the stuff in the indicator list, can you apply all of that stuff to what's happening right now? Can you do it? It's really important that we slow it down because the no touch, no close is a real time identification process. And we're going to talk about how to look at it. We're going to talk about that right now. A real time identification process for that function because the chart is only offering you numbers slash percentages. That's all it's offering you. That's all you're going to ever get. That's all the chart has to offer. You got date and you got time. That's all you got. And so we can put any kind of name to it that we want, but is it possible for any of this to do real time identification? That's important. That's important. Any strategy that you may have learned with any indicator, is it doing real time identification and understanding function? Okay. Are you factoring in the participants that's creating the outcome and have designed and ensured that the outcome will happen? Really important stuff. So now let's talk about that diagram that I had there. I'll just put it back over here really quickly, and then I will let you go. Because I supposed to be leaving in January. All right. I'm not gonna be up here as much. I won't. Because I don't think it's necessary to be online. And again, I just wanted to put some simple information online because a lot of people is complaining about what's online. It's not any information online that you can, really reference and use. And I browsed around a little bit. That's how I got these terms. Don't know any of it, but that's how I got the terms. And so what I want you to know is this the mid, which is that black floater, this thicker line. If it's above the bar's high, that's majority of the bar above the bar's high. Majority is just more than half the total. That's all it is. And so if you're playing tug of war, if more than half of the total is headed in this direction, it should go a little bit more, I think. Now it could be 1 bar, it can be 100 bars in that direction, but it's real time. It's telling you majority, the mid of this bar is above the high of this one. At least at that moment it was. Now we got 17 more seconds. Let's see if it can finish it out. And so it's really important. Now, if that mid can't stay outside the high of this bar in the next 4 seconds, there's a chance they may, stall you out a little bit more. Now, can it keep going? Sure, it can. It can. I'm not gonna say it. See, it's pushing down still. And again, this is small little teeny candles. I'm giving you an idea of how to go about even looking at your daily, your weekly, you wonder why on the intraday basis you may get all of this violent activity where it'll it'll be rallying real hard, then all of a sudden it'll take a sharp drop. Just start looking at, if you want to do daily bias, look at your daily candle and see if when they break the high of the prior candle, when they push up, just see if the mid of the current candle moving can get above the bar's high. And you'll probably find that right at that point, them guys will just take a major sharp drop back in the opposite direction and don't do it, you know. And so the real participation, because that's what I really want to tell you here, the real participation is these green bars. Okay. Real participation is red bars, and they're all over the chart. Again, my indicator, all it does is just record historically for reference. That's all it's doing. But it's a real time identification process. And so while the candle is moving, it would allow you to stay in the trade on the way. See, now this candle right here even though it's a red outline, it's green on the inside of the bar. Let me open this up so you can see it. It's green on the inside of that bar, and it turns green. I know you're probably looking at this candle, and it probably would make you think that it'll turn around clearly. There's a wick on the top for those who really can't read price. There's a wick on the top, and it probably make you think that's sell pressure. But the mid of this candle is above this candle's high. That's majority. There's more than half of the bar that is above this bar's high. It goes up some more. Now, of course, it's struggling to do so. I'm not gonna say it's not. I mean, look at how all the other mids are directly located into the bar before it. So that's the fight. But I just want to let you know these are real participation bars. And yes, the indicator, you can absolutely pick it up if you want. It's totally up to you. You can email me and we can discuss calls. And it's very simple, actually. It's nothing to it. But you can pick it up because it has several functions. That's the only reason why I'm willing to offer it to the public. Otherwise, if I didn't create, because I actually learned how to create indicators trading, and I made several functions for it. So I'm offering it at a very small cost, very, very small cost. And it's like 7 indicators in total. And actually it's 8 because I give you another one that'll read the volume while it's moving over here. And then it'll plot the volume under the bar. But yeah, if you want it, you can have it. Not here for that. But I want you to know you can have this chart scale though. Minus the text. I ain't gonna give you the text. You wouldn't need it. But the black line, green line, the red line, you can absolutely have it. And there's a couple other indicator that comes with it. You can have the scale of the chart. You can have this range, and then there's some static levels that I provide you. So there's a couple ranges. Let me shrink the chart. There's a couple ranges that you get to, so you can have that stuff for free. You can have that free. You can just email me. I'll give it to you because I want your trading to work. So you can have this chart scale, these lines, okay, and you can have these ranges, and then there's another template that I provide as well. You can have for absolutely free. But I wanted to talk to you about that real time indicator. This is a real-time indication of how to read price. Now you can see you had got another red bar, okay, after this one turned red because the mid of this bar fell beneath this bar's low. So there's still more sell pressure off of this bar still sitting there. Now, can it go up higher? Yeah, it could. It could. It absolutely could. Let's count our bars here, and then I will absolutely let you go because I need the this video to be short. Okay. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7. So it can absolutely do the distance of the 7. It can. It sure can. Because remember, I told you, remember when we first started, you can go back and watch the video. Go back and rewind the video, and it can, if it wants to. Remember, I told you that thought, when you have the thought, you envision the outcome as well. All right. So I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.